Tim, let me put the first question to you. Talk, and It's My Life.
Yeah.
To what extent did the song conjure up those sorts of images to you in the first place for the video?
Well, it wasn't much, you know, the way the song conjured it up. It was like a way of life, really, that whole film, really. It was about evolution, I think, wasn't it? And animals, that's what it was about.
Okay. I mean, Mark, were you happy with the end result, or...?
Well, it wasn't a question of being happy or not with the end result. It was just a question of the way in which you leave your life.
It was a manifesto, I think is what it's saying.
I think it was like part of
a
the
manifesto. Yeah.
So did you have a lot of input, though, Mark? I mean, throughout the video production or not?
No, well, in actual fact, I did, actually. In actual fact, I did, because all of those animals that you see on that video are, in fact, me, inside little outfits.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a master of disguise, isn't he?
Yeah, in fact, that cost actually more to shoot than all those Duran Duran videos, because we actually shot most of it around the world. We actually went around the world, didn't we?
Yes.
Shot it.
Well, you did.
Yeah, well, I
did.
did. Yeah, well, you did in the animal suit, didn't you?
See, I told you it was going to be a lot of trouble.
The thing is, it also took about 5 years to make, because there are different quarantine regulations around the world. So he had to be left in quarantine for like 6 weeks.
So it's nice to see you out and about again, then, Mark.
That feels good.
That's all I can say.
Feels good.
So how did the pair of you...
It wasn't much fun being on heat in quarantine.
Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It didn't smell good either.
That's what it is now, is it?
Yeah.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah, it was him. He's on heat. Watch it.
Okay. Well, you're sitting next to him.
Oh,
Listen,
no.
how did the pair of you come to work together anyway in the first place? Let me try and get serious just for a minute.
Oh, I think as soon as we met each other, it was like a sort of animal relationship, wasn't it?
Sure.
No, it was. It was. No, I mean, how did we meet? Like one day that we were like called up and that, and then we were like thrown together in like one of these meetings, and then I came up with a terrible idea for that thing, and then somebody went out the room, and then we met up, and then I said, this is what it should be about, didn't I? And then
you said, I've got just the suit for you.
That's right.
I've got just the suit, and it fitted.
And it was a zebra.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm a tailor.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like a zebra crossing, and it was a big crossing in our life. That was a good link.
This one could run and run, folks. I think it's time for another video right now, and I know Mark is much more keen to talk about this one. Well, at least he said so 2 minutes ago, but he could have changed his mind in the meantime. This one's called Such a Shame. It's from Talk in the studio with me, and filmmaker Tim Pope. Mark...
Well, I wouldn't exactly describe you as a filmmaker.
Well, I make some sort of films, don't I?
Yeah,
you know what sort of films I make.
CD film.
Same colour as this sofa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They always give me this interview, folks. You know, the sort of people like Nick Hayward I get, Kevin Rowland, the Dexys Midnight Runners.
I do put us into that. Nick Hayward.
Yeah, now these two gentlemen. Mark, can I ask you about Such a Shame and the video? What inspired, first of all, the song? Because it was a book, wasn't it?
Yes.
Tell me about the book and like what interested you about it.
It is just a book called The Dice Man. It's just about changing personality at random through throwing dice. And all we did with the video, you see, it was just sort of to think more in terms of like a film. It was just thinking in terms of making a little 3-minute film of the book, trying to sum that book up in 3 minutes. Well, 4 minutes 25, but just thought I'd throw that in as a little touch.
Yeah, no.
Well, all it was, you see, was just to actually use the premise of the book, and just follow that for the film. So we just threw a dice and then just changed personality with the throw of that dice.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that a difficult thing to do, though, Tim? I mean, to actually convey what is essentially a game of chance visually?
Well, a lot of people think that film looks like a load of crap. I don't personally, but you know, I'm a bit biased. But like there were a lot of, there were like a lot of ideas, like within like loads of ideas, which I can't quite remember. But I remember some of them. Like if you look, like we played with the dice ideas a lot. Like he plays 6 characters in it, sort of thing. And when we were actually doing it, the way we sort of did it was like I literally gave him a little piece of paper and I'd written a word on it, right? I'd literally written a word and I'd start the camera and then you would do that character, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Maudlin.
Yes.
Remember Maudlin?
Yeah, I thought it meant Reginald Maudlin. But, you know.
So he started playing Reginald Maudlin, which is where the political character came from, wasn't it?
Sure.
But that's how we came up with the characters. And then, like, the bits we did outside, like, we went out. It's very arty, this, because we went out. I would say so. I would say so. Arty?
Yeah, I mean, we just went out and chose locations by you know, if we wanted a #1 location, we'd look for something that just had one prominent figure in it.
Like the post box, right? So
yeah, sure. Well, the post box was in fact the 3 location. Yeah, but
that's good my counting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But and then that building, there's a building where Mark walks outside of, and that's got 5 major bits in it. So that was 5.
Six, actually, yeah, that was cool. 6.
And then his jacket had 6 buttons on it, right?
Actually.
Did it?
Yeah.
Give him a chance, Mark.
Yeah, give me a chance.
Yeah.
It's like it's all
I
the
just
time.
like the facts, that's all. I just,
yeah.
you know.
But so like that has got 6 buttons on it, sort of thing. So it was all the way through that film, and like the band being lined up, because the record company said to me they wanted something like with the band in. So I thought we'll put them in a straight line. You know, that's what we thought, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Straight line. Put them in a straight line, and there's 6 of them. Then there's 5, 4. So there's loads of plays on dices, really. That was like the basic idea.
Everything's numbers, even the editing was down to dice throwing.
I shut my eyes in parts of it. I literally...
The whole thing was just absolutely to do it in terms of the way the book was written. You know, absolutely.
So the actual method we used to make the film was like, you know, throwing the dice, literally, didn't we? Like the order we shot things in, everything.
Really?
What we had to do.
You're not winding me up again, are you? Because it sounds
no,
it's believable.
No, this one isn't a wind-up.
True.
There's often a lot of hanging about and stuff on videos, Mark. I mean, do you sort of have to make them under sufferance, really? I mean, or do you enjoy them?
See, the thing is, when you're working with someone who actually has sort of the personality and the beauty of Pobier, you know, you're never sort of lost for... I mean, he's fascinating. I mean, if you know, you know things, you know all the bus timetables, don't you?
I do, I know
that. 8 years, all the rainfall.
But you say, where does he hang about? I'm not going to tell you where he hangs about when we're not filming, because I know.
Yeah. Really?
I've got it on film. One day we'll release it.
A bit tacky, is it?
A little bit that way, yeah, a little bit that way.
Okay, I think cue another video then. This time we're going to take a look at Talk Talk's Dum Dum Girl. I'll have Mark and Tim hanging around for a bit more comment.
I'm glad you
after
said
this.
Mark and Tim and not Tim and Mark.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, he's understating it, isn't he?
Particular difficulties with that one, because once again, although it was fairly simple in its concept, I mean, a lot of the shots look pretty complicated to me.
Well, it wasn't really, the whole idea was that it should be quite simple, really, because we just shot it in a field. It was like the idea of just doing something, because, like, you know, we don't really like all that, you know, that sort of, like, stuff we have to work too hard and that. So it was literally a matter of setting it up in the middle of a field. I mean, it was hard for him, really, because he had to sing live vocal. It was actually a live vocal, which I don't think many people would have the bottle to do. So that was, like, the hardest thing. Although we didn't scream out that it was, and I was quite good fun to cut, because I like leaving all those shots where the camera goes like that to give it a feeling of spontaneity. I mean, I could have cut it all together to be really beautiful and, you know, pretty stunning, but I thought, you know, it was better to make it all look spontaneous, a bit like that. I liked a bit of that myself.
What about you, Mark? I mean, do you feel that he managed to capture that kind of spontaneity?
I think all we were really looking for there, you know, we just... With all these videos that we've made together, all with any of them that they've been, is just sort of, as much as anything, like a reaction against other things that are going down at the time. At the time when we came to make that video, there were just so many videos getting made everywhere, which were having so much money spent on them. They were being, you know, so gross in terms of their production and everything, and they were just getting more and more distance from music and just getting closer and closer just to pure cheap advertising. You know, that all we wanted to do with that was just try and make something that was very simple and very honest, and that was it. It really was that simple, you know.
Okay, the pair of you have been working on a movie, you were telling me as well, which sounds quite interesting. So what's been going on there?
Well, it's like a sort of cross between Terry and June and Dallas, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's called a little bit of porn in it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
just 90% of it.
Yeah.
But it's called the Green Cagoule. It's quite interesting. We were just on location up in the Lake District, which was quite fabulous, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we swapped roles on it actually a little bit this time, because we believe in that sort of commune sort of way of working.
Yeah,
and
you know, my belief about art is that art is open to everyone. I mean, you know, the thing of technique doesn't come into anything. The thing of chance and randomness and spirit is definitely the most important thing. So that's the way we worked. It was all to spirit, you know. We all just got a lot of gin, got totally out of it, and then made it.
I like, for example, like in this wife swap, well, I wouldn't call it wife swapping, but this sort of system, I was like, I was like camera operator, which I don't usually do, and he was like first assistant, which is like the person who gives it all this sort of stuff, all that, and shout, be quiet, all that sort of stuff. So he was doing that. And then Tim Freeze Green, who's his producer on the record, who he works with a lot, it was the locations. But he didn't find as many great locations, really, did he? I felt.
Oh, yeah, he has got some good ideas, though.
Oh, he's fabulous.
I mean, his latest idea is the esophagus. That's his latest idea for location.
Sounds fascinating. Yeah. So when can we expect to see this film? Is it going to go out on release ever, do you think?
Well, I hope one day it will go on general release. It's fairly mainstream, I think, and I think that's really what, you know, I think a lot of people would get a lot from it.
Okay, keep us posted on that one. I want to move the conversation round now to your brand new single and video, Mark, which is Life Is What You Make It. A little bit disappointed in one aspect you were saying earlier, because the video's been fiddled with.
Yeah, like I say, you see, the thing in making all these videos all along has been that they should be different. You know, they should try and do things for the value of doing them. Not, you know, at the minute, you see, I don't like the way all these videos are sort of working. They're getting closer and closer to advertisements, and advertisements are getting closer and closer to pop videos, and you're ending up with very little difference between something selling soap powder and someone actually making a video for their record, and I think that's quite shameful. I mean, you know, with this video for our new record, we went in to make it like a film. We went in and approached the soundtrack in the way that you would approach it for a film. We shot it all so that it would work to the mood of the film, and so that the band would be incidental to what we'd actually made. They would just be there like as kind of like a motivating force, but they wouldn't be what was trying to sell it at all. You know, and what has happened is someone's gone in and just recut all these horrible shots into it and just made it look like a regular promo.
So somebody outside of your working relationship has actually tampered with the thing. I mean, somebody from the record company?
Yeah, I have to say, because it's like the first time it sort of ever happened to me, so it is terrible. I hear about a lot of these things happening to other people, because I'll just go back to...
We've never had this.
No, never had this happen. We had a few problems on It's My Life, because everyone thought it was a bit weird and that, but they sort of accepted it. But, so, you know, so it is a bit sad, because as Mark said, the whole idea, right, when we start on something, is like that the whole... See, like, there is this other version, which basically is like a performance cut against animals, and it's stuck over the soundtrack, and so it's completely superfluous to the song, you see, which is a bit sad, really, because as Mark said, our whole idea was that the thing should really work as a whole, right, that the band and all these little animals and that should, and we actually remixed the soundtrack, you see, not in an ostentatious way, that's near Ostend, but not in that sort of a way, but just to really make the, you know, not so we'd get an award for, hey, they've remix the soundtrack, but really to make... I mean, that is the thing about all these films, I think. They're not made to get awards and that. They're just, like, supposed to really sort of show the songs.
And convey the music.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, I think a lot of them, it's very easy. If you cut them on the beat right and you do all this snappy stuff, you see, then it's great. Then I'll be up there, you know, for this award, and, you know, we'll be up there and making emotional speeches about awards, but they're not really... They're sort of about the opposite to that, really.
Okay. Well, Tim, if I can stop you there, because we are right out of time, I wish you luck in trying to get the thing well, as you want it. In other words, getting the original back together, and it's called Life's What You Make It. We're going to take a look at that right now, and thanks for joining me in the studio, Mark Hollis and Tim Pope.